Sometimes even to live is an act of courage. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Non est ad astra mollis et terras via. There is no easy way from the earth to the stars. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. All cruelty springs from weakness. Religion is regarded by the common people as true, by the wise as false, and by rulers as useful. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable. Hang on to your youthful enthusiasms, you'll be able to use them better when you're older. It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be in a different place, but to be a different person. Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. He who is brave is free. What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. No man was ever wise by chance. They lose the day in expectation of the night, and the night in fear of the dawn. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. I shall never be ashamed of citing a bad author if the line is good. Only time can heal what reason cannot. If you live in harmony with nature, you will never be poor. If you live according what others think, you will never be rich. Timendi causa est nescior. Ignorance is the cause of fear. Enjoy present pleasures in such a way as not to injure future ones. Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power. As long as you live, keep learning how to live. Life is like a play. It's not the length, but the excellence of the acting that matters. Wealth is the slave of a wise man, the master of a fool. The sun also shines on the wicked. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Leisure without books is death, and burial of a man alive. Often a very old man has no other proof of his long life than his age. A sword never kills anybody. It is a tool in the killer's hand. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. Life is long if you know how to use it. It is not the man who has too little that is poor, but the one who hankers after more. We learn not in the school, but in life. There is no genius without a touch of madness. Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart. A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver or doer. Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. While we wait for life, life passes. But life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. To wish to be well is a part of becoming well. Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men. I am not born for one corner, the whole world is my native land. Regard as loyal, and you will make him loyal. It does not matter how many books you have, but how good the books are which you have. It is difficult to bring people to goodness with lessons, but it is easy to do so by example. You should live in such a way that there is nothing which you could not as easily tell your enemy as keep to yourself. It's not because things are difficult that we dare not venture. It's because we dare not venture that they are difficult. He who spares the wicked injures the good. It is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness. It is more civilized to make fun of life than to bewail it. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. Whatever can happen at any time can happen today. Of this one thing make sure against your dying day, that your faults die before you do. He who has injured thee was either stronger or weaker than thee. If weaker, spare him; if stronger, spare thyself. To win true freedom you must be a slave to philosophy. The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. The part of life we really live is small. For all the rest of existence is not life, but merely time. What progress, you ask, have I made? I have begun to be a friend to myself. There is no enjoying the possession of anything valuable unless one has someone to share it with. Beyond all things is the sea. No man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity. To be always fortunate, and to pass through life with a soul that has never known sorrow, is to be ignorant of one half of nature. The best ideas are common property. It is quality rather than quantity that matters. We cease to be so angry once we cease to be so hopeful. For many men, the acquisition of wealth does not end their troubles, it only changes them. Everyone prefers belief to the exercise of judgment. The willing, destiny guides them. The unwilling, destiny drags them. See you in the next videos.